And welcome back, guys. We are going to have our next game coming up here in a second. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon, of course. For this next game, it is going to be Leenock up against Monster. Game number 2. It is going to be, of course, on Daybreak this time. So, Group A already starting off in favor of Leenock, being one game up here. What do you think we're going to see here from him this game, Railcoon?
Well, like you said last time, Leenock likes to vary his strategies, and with the changes in Zerg vs. Zerg, you can be a little bit more greedy. So I wouldn't be surprised if after that quick Zergling speed pressure, which did a lot of damage, he just goes, sup, hatch first, Daybreak. It's another pretty big run distance map for a two-player map. And definitely very viable to go hatch first on this map. And so it'll really just be interesting to see which way both players will go. I would expect Monster to play it a little bit more safe after the last game. And so in Leenock's shoes, you know, maybe try and take advantage of that, drop down a hatch really quickly.
And of course, we do have Leenock down here at the bottom left as our red Zerg, and a Monster up here at the top right as our pink. But I really feel that the game plan that Leenock had in the last game really worked well for the early game. He got that hatchery down. However, he got a little bit lucky near the end there. Like, he was ahead, yes, but it wasn't so far ahead that he could instantly just win.
Yeah.
But we are going to see a pull first coming in from a Monster compared to the hatch first for Leenock this time. Oh,
yeah, and we do have, so like exactly what we were saying. But there is no gas again for Monster, so you could follow this up with the really quick hatch again. Basically just do the same sort of build. Maybe get the Banelings a little bit sooner. But I think what Leenock did last game was really intelligent, because after doing that kind of damage to your opponent, a lot of times they will go for some kind of really big counterattack. So Leenock didn't drone up immediately after doing that. He wanted to make sure he had enough units to hold on really big Baneling counterattack just in case it came. It didn't come, but he was prepared. And then after that, he was able to start droning, because then he had a big enough army that he didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. We do have gas now for both players. Leenock's a little bit ahead of Monsters in every way except his spawning pool, of course, which is already finished for Monster now. But he's not going to really be able to take advantage of that just yet. We do see one queen on the way for him. We do see the Overlords now coming in, scouting. And notice how Monster saw the hatchery first and realized that he had enough time to sneak that Overlord into the main and see the timings on everything else at the same time. Because it has been not fairly common, but every now and then you'll see some Zergs going that extra step and being even more greedy and delaying that pull for a little bit more as well. But he sees the timings on that. Leenock, of course, also does see down here the hatchery timing for Monster. However, he's going to have to be careful because there is a queen out, and it is moving down towards the natural now.
Yeah, it's off the creep, so he'll be able to get out into the space over here, and get far enough away that the queen's going to be hesitant to move that far out. But the hatch does finish giving her a little bit of creep, so this actually could be a little bit dangerous. I didn't realize the hatch was coming that close. But yeah, he does turn back. He doesn't want to walk too far out. Doesn't want to make it so that his queen's going to have to spend a lot of time trying to get back, possibly get caught. So just playing it really safe, going to make sure he catches that injection too. And now the question is, who's going to tech what? We do see a Baneling Nest on the way from Leenock immediately once again. But Monster, since he was behind in gas, hasn't dropped one yet. And there it goes, but it is a little bit behind.
It's about 35 in-game seconds behind, but if you remember, he also has his speed up. Actually, the speed is pretty much identical timings, only 5 seconds apiece. So that's very interesting. We do see a spine crawl going down at the front for Monster as well. So I think this is going to be a much longer game than the last one here, Railcoon, because both of them seem to be sitting pretty for a late game. Look at this, Leenock morphing 2 Banelings at his own natural, worried about it, just playing defensively there. Does have 2 Lings, just poking around here at Monster's natural, see what he actually has. Because as we saw in the last game, Leenock hit his Zerglings in his main, and it paid off amazingly for him.
Oh yeah. So we do see the lair from Leenock first, which is going to be the first big variant. I think the defensive play from Leenock is just because when you open with the hatch first, you expect to be farther behind than this against a pool first. So he doesn't really realize that it's as close of a game as it is. Oh, nice job with the Zerglings! Sneaking right by, going to get a great scout, see that his opponent doesn't have a second gas, hasn't started a lair, realizes that he's in a really good position. 1 gas with Zerglings and Banelings means that Monster is going to be droning up pretty hard. So Leenock now feels comfortable throwing a big wave of drones of his own, make sure he keeps up in that economy, actually pulling a little bit ahead.
Well,
so
notice,
nice little scouting.
Yeah, notice here that Leenock already took his extra 3 gas when he went straight to that lair. That lair is finishing up now. He knows now that he is pretty much safe to run into Mutatech, because he has his Banelings for defensive quest. He saw no Roach Warren, he saw only 1 gas, and no lair. So there's no way that Monster's going to be able to be aggressive on him. That's anything in any way, shape, or form that would be really outright kill Leenock. As you can see, he has created a wall here with his Spine Crawler and Evo Chamber with the Banelings behind. And look at that, we do have the Spire down pretty much instantly as well. So Leenock's going to be in a very safe position to move straight into these Muta play. It's going to be up to Monster here. Let's have a quick look at his vision. Hasn't really seen anything else, so he's going to have to make a pretty big read and hope that he guesses right.
Yeah. Leenock is playing pretty greedy as well because he knows he can get away with it. He's been droning really hard, doesn't have that many units. Check it out. His 4 Zerglings this late in the game was pumping a lot of drones. So that 53 versus the 50. He dropped that Evolution Chamber like you're saying, so he's going to be able to start some upgrades pretty quickly. If he does switch out of the Mutalisks, which if he does defend this, then Leenock probably will. But we do have a Spire of his own from Monster. This is really dangerous. When you're behind on the Spire like this and you move into the Mutas and you're just permanently behind in the Muta count, that can get really difficult. Look at this Leenock dropping a lot of Spine Crawlers, being really safe. Because that is, something that can help a lot when you're going for the Mutas here.
Sorry to cut you off here. Like, we just saw 4 Banelings being made here by Monster at the top right, but they were actually killed by Zerglings. At the same time, we do see Monster trying to come in and take out this hatchery. 1 Baneling goes down. Oh my god, he took out way too many Zerglings than he should have. And look at this, Leenock already having more spines, realizing that there's only Lings here and actually cancels 2 of them. But I'm really worried here for Monster because he hasn't been able to take out this 3rd. He's dropped his own now, of course. However, he's behind in his Spire Tech. He's behind on gas. Yeah. He took his extra 3 gas much later than Leenock. And now we've got 6 Mutas on the way, plus 1 attack in production as well. The Overlord is taken out. Overseer taken out by Leenock as well. We do see 2 Banelings being morphed up here. Monster really wants to kill this 3rd hatchery, but there's already 2 Banelings there. We've got a lot of Zerglings for Leenock. Moving over to the right-hand side of the map as well. So both these guys again going to be hitting themselves. Like, look at that. The Mutas show up, pick off those 2 Banelings, and now Monster is in a lot of trouble. We do see Leenock coming down here. He hasn't paid attention though. Oh, luckily for him, the
nice job. He actually nullified those Banelings quite
well.
But that
God!
One, not so much. The only saving grace here for Monster is the fact that Leenock doesn't know about that Spire. If he had scouted that sooner, Leenock could have really screwed him over by going for the quick armor upgrade, because he would have permanently higher Muta count with the armor upgrade. He would never be able to engage those Mutalisks.
Yeah.
But he has actually, looks like he's switching out into Roaches very quickly. Not going to continue to make the Mutalisks, which is interesting since he did have that much faster Spire. So it looks like he's just trying to force a reaction with his Mutas, then switching directly into Roach Infester.
Yeah, that does seem to be his plan right now. Of course, we do not have Pathogen Glands on the way. That seems to be his Leenock's thing. He just really doesn't like upgrading Pathogen Glands. But we also do see we've got Zerg Flyer Carapace 1 on the way. So it looks like Leenock is actually going to do Roach Infester Muta, which is going to be very interesting to see how he pulls this one off. Of course, at the same time, we do see Monster getting his own Infestation Pit. Both players are pretty much safe from harassment now. A couple of stray Overlords being caught. Actually, this one's going to supply cap Leenock for a little bit. And
yeah, that one was too far out in the middle of the map to make it back in time. And that's just what happens when you get the Muta Mirror. All of the vision in the center of the map gets cleared out, so it becomes really important holding these watchtowers. And somehow Monster has Leenock's tower. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Leenock really should be checking that because you shouldn't be giving him that free vision like that. It's going to allow these Mutas to fly around and deny any of these Zergling attacks. He does find it with his Mutalisks, clear that out, and he will take over his own tower. But now because of that, some Zerglings have snuck up in the top left. These might morph into Banelings and go after the 3rd base here.
That's very likely possibility, but there are 2 Spines, a Queen, and 2 Banelings there. And it looks like Leenock is pushing forward a little bit with his Mutas now. He's 18 to 9. And 3 Infestors. That's just the power of those extra 3 gas so much quicker. And on top of that, his expansion.
Too. So that's going to be really nice for Leenock. So like I was saying, the armor upgrade...
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Elkin, but we do see an attack down here on the 3rd. Leenock's coming in. The Lings at first are taken out, but it looks like the Muta count here for Leenock is just so much higher, but the Spore Crawler and 2 Queens is really giving him pause at the moment. He doesn't need to move in with this as much as he thinks he does right now. The second Spore Crawler hitting a couple things as well. Oh, the Infestors for Leenock! The one fungal goes down. He's just having to waste those fungals as quickly as he can before those lings just tear them apart. But the muta count here for him is just too high. The upgrades as well tear through those. And now there's free overlords that are just like, I don't know, did they want to die? Because they're running straight there.
I don't know. He just destroyed all of the mutalisks of his opponent, so he might be just trying to get some map vision back. He is morphing one of them into an Overseer. That is a lot of Zerglings going for the last-ditch counterattack. There are not any Banelings here. Oh, 2 of them are arriving now, and he does have some Roaches, so it looks like he might be able to hold this. Banelings trying to get around in position to block all these Zerglings, and Monster does retreat, but a lot of these Zerglings are going to go down to the mutalisks on the way by. Leenock looks like he's trying to set up a 4th, but Monster's trying to snipe that drone. He might get it!
Yeah.
Oh, he does it the last second.
Oh,
and burrow. Nice.
I really like the transition here from Leenock. He got those upgrades for his mutas. In case that didn't work, he was fully prepared to go straight into a Roach composition to really hit home as a follow-up for it. We do see, of course, Leenock does have a changeling on the watchtower.
Moving across the center of the map. So that's going to sneak around. I don't know where that's headed to, but it looks like there's going to be a big engagement here in the center. Nice fungal trying to catch all these mutas. He does fungal all of the mutas, and there's a lot of queens here. So the mutas are actually taking quite a bit of damage, not really taking out that much in return.
Well, Leenock is 30 supply up, but mainly in that Roach count here. We do see a couple of them coming through. The mutas are being torn apart now, but as we saw before, Leenock ready for the change. And nice fungals again. The muta count is dwindling. Here comes some infested Terrans, but I think Monsters just realized there are so many Roaches to follow this up. The 4 queens, their infested Terrans drop pretty quickly to these Roaches as well. They do have +1 attack, remember, Railgun. Nice fungals again here from Monster, but there's just too much. The Roaches have too much speed.
I think he actually was trying to get him to use Infestor Energy on those Mutalisks. He realized that they weren't that important. Because you notice he waited until he blew almost all the Infestor Energy before he moved in with the Roaches. Right when he knew there would not be that many Fungals available, allowing him to really sweep through, kill a lot of units. He took out a good number of Infestors and Queens there before he was repelled by Monsters. So that was not catastrophic like it could have been, but that was a really tricky decision from Leenock, trying to just get him to waste as much energy.
Oh, the Infestors just got fungled, all of them here for Monster, and follow-up fungals here from Leenock as well. Those Infestors are going to drop. That's really unfortunate there for Monster, but he looks like he will, with the next round of units that are about to pop out, the 21 Roaches, he should be able to defend this third and keep this game going.
Got a bunch of Roaches about to pop out of his hatchery, so he should be fine. He'll be able to stop this. He's not going to lose any drones. It's hurting, like he's gonna barely hold this, but he will hold it. The upgrades are really helping Leenock as well. He's got +2 upgrades against 1 armor for Monster. It looks like he's gonna try and swing over and hit some of those drones, but more reinforcement Roaches were coming in. The Spine Crawler's finishing, so he still didn't actually get any of these workers. Yeah,
at the same time, Monster is taking out this 4th base of Leenock. Hasn't been noticed just yet. It is probably gonna, nope, barely noticed by Leenock. And as you're saying, he's splitting up his Roaches left, right, and center, but the production from Monster, I have to give him props here for actually keeping up with everything that's been going on. He might barely be able to throw this off, but more Infestors coming through here for Leenock now. He has a few more Fungals. Infested Terrans coming down as well. It's 166 supply to 130, and it is just a massive mess down here.
Yeah, I really like the decision go for the Infested Terrans there, because it really forces Monster to have to stand and fight, or else the hatchery's going to take a bunch of damage. It looks like he is still just barely holding this off. I don't know how, since he is behind on the Roaches. He's behind on the upgrades. He didn't have a Queen here for a long time. By all intents and purposes, he should have lost this base by now, but Monster is just barely holding on with some really good macro. Leenock's finally trying to push through here, been using that burrow very effectively as well. But we got Zerglings coming in here, adding to the fight. This Queen's been shelling the Roaches the entire time as well. Leenock looks like he's just barely pushing through this. This unending supply of Roaches is going to finally overwhelm him.
Yeah, it was very well done by Monster to keep that up, but Leenock just completely relentless, taking that slight lead over and over and over again. So congratulations to Leenock. He will move on to the winners match for this game. And coming up next, we'll have... Who are we going to have next, Railgun? That is the question. Let's take a quick look, because for some reason I can't even remember what I
don't have it open right now, so I can't save you. I thought you did.
We are going to have I Am's Happy against Junyo-John from Immunity down there from the Southeast Asia scene. So we'll be right back after a quick commercial break with game number 2 here in the FXOpen Invitational number 6. Stay with us.